I was born on the Georgetown campus in the aftermath of the war between the states. It was a brand new era in the great experiment in democracy called the United States of America. I was there in 1870 when Georgetown's first intercollegiate team gathered on the ball diamond. I was there in 1876 when students of the crew chose blue and gray as their racing colors. More than a century later, I witnessed the students of the crew represent the colors to our university president. I was there at the turn of the century when Hoya sprinter Art Duffy broke the world's record in the 100-yard dash and was hailed the world's fastest human. I watched an innovative Georgetown instructor and coach named Maurice Joyce teach a brand new game called basketball to eager students in the early years of the 20th century. I was there in 1922 to see our Hoya baseball team reel off 25 straight wins and earn acclaim as intercollegiate national champion. I remember the caring attention of Father Vincent McDonough, the Jesuit moderator of athletics, in whose memory the gymnasium was named. I was there in 1925 when Georgetown's track and field team was crowned National Collegiate Indoor Champions. I spent many an afternoon with Hall of Fame football coach Lou Little on Old Varsity Field, where White Gravener and Copley Halls now stand. I walked the golf links in 1928 with Maurice McCarthy, who went on to capture the intercollegiate golf title. I was there when Leo Sexton won a gold medal in the shot put with a record throw at the '32 Olympics in Los Angeles. I rode the train bound for the 1941 Orange Bowl with Coach Jack Haggerty and our nationally ranked football team. I was filled with pride when the Hoya Colossus, Al Blozis, set a new world record in the shot put, and I broke down a few years later when the NFL star died in battle in World War II. I was there in 1943 cheering on Coach Elmer Ripley and our Hoya basketball team in the NCAA title game against Wyoming. I remember the indoor track in the old Ryan Gym, and I've walked the halls of McDonough these many years. I was there in 1955 to congratulate Kathleen White of the sailing team as the first Georgetown woman to win a varsity letter G. I was there in 1970 when a group of alumni, students, parents, and friends met to improve athletics and to build community through Georgetown sports. They gave birth to a new membership organization called Hoyas Unlimited. I viewed with admiration as Georgetown Athletic Director Frank Rienzo took a lead role in the formation of the Big East Conference in 1979. I was there when our swimming team, with no pool on campus for their entire existence, hosted their first home meet when Yates Fieldhouse opened in 1979. I was at the NCAA title game in New Orleans in 1982 for the heartbreaking conclusion when Coach John Thompson hugged his point guard following the loss. I congratulated Suzanne Kuhlman for her 60 consecutive tennis victories as a Hoya, and for capping her career with an NCAA national title in 1983. I celebrated in Seattle in 1984 after watching Patrick and his basketball teammates shut down Kentucky and then Houston to capture the NCAA national crown. I followed the success of head coaches Joe Lang, Frank Gagliano, Ron Helmer, and Pat Henner at the end of the century and into the new as they built and sustained the greatest era of track and field excellence in Georgetown history. I was there on the banks of the Schuylkill in Philadelphia for each of our many national championship victories in the Dad Vale Regatta, men and women, heavyweights, lightweights, and open weights. I was at the Capitol Center in 1989 and admired the principled protest by Coach John Thompson against the discriminatory impact of NCAA Proposition 42. His action spoke to a different proposition. that lives are more important than games. I was watching courtside in 1989 with men's tennis coach Rich Bausch as his team captured our first Big East Tennis Championship. I was there in 1993 when Chris Whitfill and Lenny Wilson led our women's basketball team to a Sweet 16 regional berth in the NCAA tournament and its first ever top 20 ranking. I claimed my pot and spoon in 1994 when the Hoya men's soccer team was crowned champions of the Big East for the first time, earned our first ever national ranking, and made our first appearance in the NCAA tournament. I was there when the Georgetown volleyball team claimed our first Big East title in 1998 and received our first NCAA tournament bid. I was there when Coach Dave Urich rebuilt the men's lacrosse program and culminated a decade of growth with a trip to the Final Four in 1999. 2 years later, I was cheering in the stands as Coach Kim Simon and her lacrosse team just missed the NCAA championship title with a shot deflected off the goal pipe in overtime. I watched our field hockey team compete on top of Kehoe Field in 2000 as they won more games than any hockey team in our school history, secured a top 20 national ranking, and played in our first ever postseason tournament. I witnessed the rise of the sailing team under Coach Mike Callahan at the beginning of the new millennium as it took its place among the elite programs in the nation with multiple individual and team national championship titles. I joined the frenzied celebration at midcourt after basketball coach John Thompson III engineered Georgetown's all-time upset of #1 ranked Duke in 2006. I traveled to Charlottesville in 2007 for the first NCAA tournament appearance ever by our women's soccer team, who concluded the season with the most wins in program history. I was there at the Meadowlands in 2007 when Jeff Green and John Wallace led our team to a stunning defeat of North Carolina in overtime to advance the Hoyas to the Final Four. I was there at graduation in 2009 when softball walk-on Christina Gallinari received her diploma. She was the first four-year letter winner in the short history of our softball program and team captain in our inaugural Big East season. I have witnessed the sacrifice, courage, and commitment of our student athletes. Their leadership and dedication to learning and to their community are exemplary. Finally, I remember the young football freshman whose perseverance subsequently led to graduate studies and then to a career on the hilltop. I wish him the very best as he leads and labors for our university today. I was there in 1870. I was there for each of the last 140 years. I will be here for the next 4 years and ever after. I am the spirit of the Hoya Blue and Gray. I am you, and you are Georgetown.
We are Georgetown! We are Georgetown! We are Georgetown!
Hoya Saxa. Forever.